Before we start, if you're having trouble hearing me, press Escape, go to Options, then Audio, and turn down the World and In-Cockpit sounds to 0. In this lesson I'm going to learn how to navigate to an airfield and land on it. There are 3 navigation modes that we will be using: en route, return, and landing. These submodes are selected automatically at appropriate points along the assigned flight path, but they can also be cycled manually. In this lesson we'll use the automatic method. I currently have the lesson paused as I explain some of the finer points. Press the spacebar to continue. What we'll learn in this lesson is navigating to an airfield via the waypoints, then return point, then landing. We are currently in en route mode as indicated in the bottom left hand corner of the HUD. This will cycle between all waypoints, including the RTN and LDG landing waypoints. Press the spacebar to continue. You can see that waypoint 1 is selected with a range of 8.5 kilometers, bottom center of the HUD. Press left control and tilde to select waypoint 2. The tilde key is the one to the left of the 1 key and below the escape key on most keyboards. You may not have heard of it. The HUD will show ENR. You can see that waypoint 2 is 15.5 kilometers for us. On the front dash, to the left of the stick are 2 dials, the HSI and ADI. These mirror what is happening in the HUD in terms of navigation. For today, we will just use the HUD approach and navigation cues. Press the spacebar to continue. We're going to fly to waypoint 2 by following the circle in the center of the HUD. This is a neat system that will line you up with the runway. Fly towards the circle. Try and match the required or planned height to be at each waypoint as indicated above your actual altitude in the top right hand corner of the HUD. Let's practice this as we fly to waypoint 2. I will unpause the lesson when you press the spacebar. OK, now you can fly to keep the navigation circle on the HUD in the very center of the pitch and bank indicator. Also, remember that the assigned airspeed and altitude for each waypoint are indicated in smaller digits above your current airspeed and altitude. Put your throttles to idle and let the speed bleed off naturally to between 400 and 500 clicks as you climb to 1000 meters. Toggle the air brake in and out using the B key if you need to. You can see it's out by the 2 yellow lights highlighted. I suggest a minimum pattern speed of 400 clicks. Fly to waypoint 2. Well done. The HUD will now switch over automatically to waypoint 3. Go ahead and fly to waypoint 3 following the nav circle and maintain a speed of around 400 clicks per hour. Now that you've reached the last en route waypoint, notice that return mode has automatically been selected, as indicated by RTN in the lower left corner of the HUD. Your nav steering will now provide you steering to intercept the ILS beams at the proper heading and altitude. Keep following the nav circle to RTN. Now we've entered the ILS beams, we have automatically switched to landing mode, as indicated by LNDG, the bottom left-hand corner of the HUD. The ILS contains a glide slope beam to guide you vertically and a localizer beam to guide you horizontally. Below the landing indication is a K. This lets you know you've captured the ILS beams. The upside down L in the lower right-hand corner of the HUD indicates you're on glide slope. If you've not already done so, reduce your airspeed to less than 400 clicks and lower your gear by pressing G. If you need to, deploy your air brakes by pressing B. Lower landing flaps by pressing F. Press the spacebar to continue. You have just passed the outer marker beacon, and your airspeed should be between 280 and 320 clicks, and on glide slope. Remember, always better to be hot and high than low and slow. You have now passed the inner marker beacon at 5 kilometers. You just passed the runway threshold. When the radar altimeter indicates 5 meters, reduce the throttle to idle and flare the nose such that your sink rate is between 1 and 2 meters per second. Once all wheels are on the ground and your speed is below 250 clicks, release the braking chute by pressing P. Hold down the W key to apply wheel brakes until the aircraft comes to a complete stop. Well done. Looks like you got it down in one piece. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key.